Good morning and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be starting something new. We're going to start doing probably once, two, three times a week. We're just going to run over some current financial market news, and then we'll jump over to a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies. Each week we will concentrate on a different one, and it just will give you a current feel of what's going on in the markets, and hopefully that will be found useful for yourselves. So we will start off on Market Watch, and we'll just look at what went on in yesterday's trading, because things that happen in the US markets, especially the S&P 500, we are quite correlated to the Bitcoin market. So if things go up in the S&P 500, then Bitcoin usually goes up, and the same works for the dollar. I mean, the DXY, if that's going up, unfortunately precious metals and crypto goes down, and vice versa. So yesterday we did quite well across the markets. Donald Trump's recovered now, he's not got COVID anymore. Then there's news that there's potentially a package for stimulus checks coming up again, but that obviously got to be run through. It's got to be run through the government, etc. So looking yesterday, we were 2.5% up on the Nasdaq, which was it's a big move out, really, over 269 points. I remember Dow Jones again was up around 250 points. Over in Europe, the FTSE 100 today is down. If you look at pretty much the major European markets, we're down. The DAX is down, the CAC 40 and the IBEX 35 is all down. So that could potentially have some effects on the futures. If we just look at Asian markets, they're in the green. Mainly what we're interested in here is the futures. Currently, futures are down across the board, and we will look at Bitcoin in a minute. We did have a good run in Bitcoin yesterday, but that seems to have flipped. We are heading down a little bit, but it could just be a consolidation. Sometimes futures aren't entirely accurate. We could open up in the green, so that will we'll see what happens later on around 2 o'clock UK time. If we just look at crypto here, again, that is down. Bitcoin's down a slight bit, 98 points. You could call that 0.85%, but we'll just have a look at some news here. So this is what could potentially bring in futures down. So European stocks, US futures lose momentum after a vaccine trial pause. If we just click into this article and just have a read through it, you can say European stocks edged lower on Tuesday, losing momentum after a pause of a key coronavirus trial as traders waited for earnings from some of the world's leading banks. You could say yesterday it was up 0.75%, but that news has started to drop things down. Like I say, futures is down. We just looked at that, and if we just look here, the US stock S&P 500 blasted higher on Monday on little news during a light Columbus Day holiday, with a tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite up 2.55%. So that was a major move, but this vaccine, I think the vaccine is almost like a bit of hopium news. Making a vaccine within this time period, I personally don't think is doable. I mean, they can push something out that is completely untested and what they think could work, but at the end of the day, vaccines take absolute years to make. And I don't know how, for example, the AIDS vaccine, that took about 20-30 years to even come out. So things could take a while to come out. And for example, this one is going to take a long time, in my opinion. I don't think that we're going to get a vaccine within the next couple of years. But I mean, they might push something out, but whether it's effective is yet to be known. But that is a markets for now. We will jump over to trading, and we will have a run through of some of the cryptocurrency charts, and probably the big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll wrap it up after that. Here we have Bitcoin. This is the Binance chart on the daily time frame. As you can see here, I've just marked a couple of key areas up. So I've marked up there's the potential CME gap down at 3565, which potentially we may never hit. So I mean, that is just there as a guide in case the markets turn sour and the dollar starts doing a massive run. But also I've marked up here the yearly highs, so that is a potential target for the coming possibly weeks and months, depending how this election pans out in the US. And like I say, if the dollar dumps, then this could start getting quite volatile and pushing up back to some yearly highs. I think we're pushing up towards that way now, and it would be a good time to get them yearly highs. What I'm going to do first is just put a bearish scenario on this, and if we do potentially get a downturn in price, and it would just put the Fibonacci on all up to the top and up to that double top there, I always look for a 618 retracement if I'm looking for an investment. As you can see, we've had quite a good run across Bitcoin. It's been a very good run. We've pretty much a no pullback. We're in a consolidation band for ages. From pretty much we jumped up, and from May up until around July we had a consolidation band there, and it was quite boring. The chop was boring, and then we jumped up, and then we shot up, and you can see we printed a Bart Simpson there, and ever since then it's been still pretty much continues to go up. We've had zero relief, so I'm expecting that we'll get some relief over the coming months due to this election. I think that if things turn bad in that, then that will be reflective on the market, and we could turn down. So personally, if I'm looking to invest in things, I always look at 618 levels. So the potential is to go down to this level. I mean, we could turn sour and start dropping, but currently we are bullish. And I just want to show you the Hitman market momentum finder. This works out when there is a shift in market momentum. We was bullish from April. We did turn bearish from towards the beginning of September. September is a notorious month for financial markets to be down, and that's what happened. But we've turned bullish for the last couple of days. 12th of October we had a bull signal, and things are looking good. If we just drop into a lower time frames, we'll write down into the hour. Let's get rid of that now because that's a bit obsolete. That's set up for my daily time frame. We've been doing really well. I mean, October's been a great month. If we go right back to the beginning, so you look at 1st October, we had that drop. And then ever since then, we've been on a solid rise. Yesterday, we jumped up to $11,720. And that's again due to the stock markets going up. But futures are down, and this is pretty much taking it out on Bitcoin as well. We have dropped a slight bit. If we just look at it as a percentage rise from those highs to current price, I mean, we've already dropped 2%, which, I mean, on the grand scheme of things, not much, but if you're trading on the low time frames, it's quite a big amount. If you were trading up here, even if you're buying down here and holding, we just need to be careful what happens here. So, in my opinion, I still think we've got room to grow. Yeah, I do think that 12k is the ultimate target in the short to mid-term period. I do think that we will retest these highs again around 12,000. What do we call that? $12,450. I do think that there's a good chance that we will retest those highs. Just given the fact that the coronavirus is not getting actioned as much as it is in America, and I do think that now the second lockdown is in the UK, there's a gap over in America where they're not doing full lockdown, and that could be a good thing for the economy over there, and it could start to push the markets up. So let's see what goes on with regards to Bitcoin and the current financial markets. I do think that we can push up and hit this level, but I am still very wary that we could get a dump. If you follow Crypto Whale on Twitter, he's quite bearish at the minute. I think he offers some good investment advice, really good, and he said the bottom is not in yet. And if he managed to buy there and sell up here, and he thinks there's another bottom to come in, then we need to wait out and see. I do think he gives out some good information. What I need to do is just going to move on to Ethereum. We'll do a little bit of analysis here and see what's been going on. I've got a couple of key levels of weekly support set up here. As you can see, we bounced off it twice here at around 319, 320. But again, if we just bang the Hitman on, we've turned bullish again. So I think the chances that it's go up to these levels, up towards this level where we've been up, actually let's move it that way. I think there's a good chance that we potentially go up here to $480, $490. I think there's a good chance that we retest those highs. We might not get there, as you can see. We have had a bit of a consolidation period. We've had a little bit of relief. If we just bang a Fibonacci on, up to that double top that we had on the 1st of September, then we did retrace to a 382 level. We bounced off that weekly support level. The chances are going down here to 250 levels are, in my opinion, quite valid. I do think that we could get there, but I do think we're going to test these levels again out first, potentially push up here and reject and turn nasty. But that will do for today's analysis. What I'm going to do is every probably 3 to 4 days, I'm just going to jump onto some different altcoins, and then every week probably Bitcoin, and give a bit of analysis to where I think we're going. I do think that we are in very uncertain times at the minute. We've got the pandemic going on. We've got world economies really struggling because there's lockdowns all over the world and people aren't going out and spending money. Places are shut. Restaurants are shutting down. The hospitality sector is pretty much getting absolutely savaged in this pandemic. So things could turn nasty, possibly, but we just need to wait out and see. If we don't turn nasty, then we will readdress these time frames. If we flip this area to support up here with the yearly highs, and I do think it's a massive case to be bullish. So like I say, that will wrap it up for today's video anyway. That is just some analysis on financial markets, Bitcoin and Ethereum. A couple of days time I'll jump on again. We'll check out the stock markets, and then I'll have a look at XRP and potentially ADA there, another two top big ones, and take it from there. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure you do like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you next time.